So good morning. We are going to discuss about the introduction about the solar energy. Renewable energy is generally defined as energy that comes from resources which are naturally replenished on a human timescale, such as sunlight, wind, rain, tides, waves, and geothermal heat. Renewable energy replaces conventional fuels in four distinct areas: electricity generations, hot water, space heating, motor fuels, and rural energy services. Renewable energy is derived from natural processes that are replenished constantly, constantly. In its various forms, it derives directly from the sun or from heat generated deep within the earth. Included in the definition is electricity and heat generated from solar, wind, hydropower, biomass, geothermal resources, and biofuels, and hydrogen derived from the renewable sources. Now we are going to discuss about the introduction about the how the solar plant will be works. So this is the diagram shows how the solar power is distributed to the consumers. So the solar cells will be placed in one place. So the heat, the solar cells, that is the photovoltaic cells, it converts the heat energy into electrical energy. So that electrical energy will be step up with the help of transformers that is given to the transmission lines. In the consumer end, again that voltage will be stepped down into the consumer level voltage and it is given to the consumers. So this is a normal solar power plant connected through the consumers. Here, the sun is the source of energy that derives the cycle of life and death on earth. It is also the energy sources that gives us evaporates water and melts snow. The sun is about 15,000 crore kilometers away from the earth. Due to its immense but finite size, it has an angular diameter of 0.5 degree in 32 minutes as viewed from earth. The sun burns continuously via thermonuclear reactions, and inside the sun, radioactive process releases energy, and convection surfaces transfer the solar energy to its exterior surface. Despite the extremely high temperature needed at the core of the sun to sustain its thermonuclear reactions, the sun has a black body temperature of 5770 K. Consequently, we receive a relatively constant flux density of energy defined as the solar constant. Its mean value is 1366 watts meter squared. The earth receives 1.6 into 1018 units of energy from the sun annually, which is 20,000 times the requirement of mankind on the earth. Some of the solar energy causes evaporation of water, leading to rains and creation of rivers, etc. Some of it's utilized in photosynthesis, which is essential for sustenance of life on earth. Man has tried from time to harness these infinite sources of energy, but has been able to tap only a negligibly small fraction of this energy. When the light travels from outer space to Earth, the solar energy is lost because of following reasons. First one is a scattering. The rays collide with particles present in atmosphere. Next one is absorption. Because of water vapor, there is a absorption. Cloud cover. The light rays are diffused because of clouds. Reflections. When the light rays hit the mountains present on the Earth's surfaces, there is reflections. Climate. Latitude of the location, daytime in a year also affects the amount of solar energy received by the place. Solar radiation geometry. In solar radiation geometry, the following terms are important. Horizon is the horizontal plane that extends from the point where the observer is standing to infinite. Horizon is the horizontal infinite. The state through spaces, since we are only working with relatively short distances compared to the universe. A line extending north to south pole will be quite sufficient. Altitude is the angle of the sun over the horizon. In this problem, we will be working with the sun at noon, so it will either be over the north to south horizon. Zenith, it is a jet, is the angle that the sun is from directly overhead, and it is equal to 90A. It too can be over the S to N horizon, but there is little need to state it. Declination is the latitude at which the sun is directly overhead. It is always between 23.5 N and 23.5 S latitude. Those occurring on the solstice. Latitude is the location N to S, N or S of the equator at which the observer is located. It is determined by radius from the center of Earth at different angles due to the equator. If such an angle is swept along the surfaces of the planet, it draws a circle. Solar radiation data is necessary for calculating cooling load for buildings, prediction of local air temperature, and for the estimating power that can be generated from photovoltaic cells. Solar radiations falling on the surface of the Earth is measured by instruments called pyrometers. The weather service in most countries has many stations to measure solar radiation using pyrometers. In India, pyrometers have been used for a long time. Solar concentrators. Solar concentrators are the collection devices which increases the flux on the absorber surface as compared to the flux impinging on the concentrated surface. Optical concentration is achieved by the use of the refracting elements positioned to concentrate the incident flux onto a suitable absorber due to the apparent motion of the sun. The concentrating surface, whether reflecting or refracting, will not be in a position to redirect the sun rays onto the absorber. Throughout the day, if both the concentrated surface and absorber are stationary, ideally the total system consisting of mirrors or lenses and the observer should follow the sun's apparent motion so that the sun rays are always captured by the absorber. In general, a solar concentrator consists of the following a focusing device. Next, the use of solar concentrator has the following advantages. Increased energy delivery, temperature, facilitating their dynamic match between temperature level and the task. Improved thermal efficiency due to reduced heat loss area. Reduced cost due to replacement of large quantities of expensive hardware material for constructing flat plate solar collector systems by less expensive reflecting and or refracting element and a smaller absorption tube. Increased number of thermal storage options at elevated temperature, thereby reducing the storage cost. Parameters characterizing solar concentrators. The aperture area is that plane area through which the incident solar flux is accepted. It is defined by the physical extremities of the concentrator. The acceptance angle defines the limit to which the incident ray path may deviate from the normal drawn to the aperture plane and still reach the absorber. Next, the storage, solar energy storage and applications. The storage of solar energy in a solar systems may, first one is a permit solar energy to be captured when isolation is high, to be used when the need arises. Deliver electric load power demand during times when isolation is below normal or non-existent. Also caters to delivering short power peaks. Be located close to the load. Improve the reliability of the solar thermal and solar PV systems. Permit a better match between energy input and load demand output. Some of the important storage methods are mechanical energy storage, that is used for pumped storage, compressed air storage, flywheel storage. Chemical energy storage, that is a battery storage, hydrogen storage, and a reversible chemical reaction storage. Electromagnetic energy storage, next electrostatic energy storage, next thermal energy storage, it is a sensible heat storage and latent heat storage. Biological storage, thermal energy storage. Next, this application of the solar energy. Three broad categories of possible large scale applications of solar power are: first one is a heating and cooling of residential and commercial buildings. Second one is a chemical and biological conversion of organic material to liquid, solid and gaseous fuels. Third one is a conversion of solar energy to electricity. Next one is a solar distillation, pumping, solar cooking, etc. The use of solar energy for generation of electricity is costly as compared to conventional methods. However, due to scarcity of fuel, solar energy will certainly find a place in planning the national energy sources. The resident first we can discuss about some of the applications here. First one is a residential cooling and heating. A flat plate collector is located on the roof of the house, which collects the solar energy. The cooling water is pumped through the tubes of the solar collectors. The heat is transferred from the collector to the water, and the hot water is stored in a storage tank, which may be located at ground level or in the basement of the house. Hot water is then utilized to heat or cool the house by adjusting the automatic valve. A separate circuit is there to supply hot water. There are all the three requirements, that is a space cooling, heating and water heating. solar PV cells. The solar cells operate on the principle of photoelectricity, that is, electrons are liberated from the surface of a body when light is incident on it. So, backed by semiconductor technology, it is now possible to utilize the phenomenon of photoelectricity. It is known that if an n-type semiconductor is brought in contact with the p-type material, a contact potential differences is set up at the junction due to diffusion of electrons. When the p-type material is exposed to light, its electrons get excited by the photons of light and pass into the n-type semiconductor. Thus, an electric current is generated in a closed circuit. The PN junction silicon solar cells have emerged as the most important source of long duration power supply necessary for space vehicles. These cells are actuated by both direct sun rays and diffuse light. So this is the working of the photovoltaic plant. How the photovoltaic plant will be working will be explained in these slides. Okay, the solar cells will be, solar collectors will be there. The solar collector will be connected to the solar superheater. Okay, and steam generator is also there. The superheater will be used to heat the steam, and it is passing through that is a steam turbine. The turbine will be rotates, and it will produce energy if the generator will be connected with the turbines. So here the plant, there is a photovoltaic plant. With the help of this photovoltaic output used to generate the electrical powers, like our thermal power generations and hydropower plant. In thermal power plant, the fuel is used to heat the water to produce the steam. That steam is used to rotate the turbine. Here also, like that, here also the photovoltaic plant, that is the solar system, will be used to heat up the water. It will produce a steam. That steam is used to rotate the turbine to produce the electrical power. So this is a photovoltaic plant. So now I'm going to close the topic now itself. So next class we are going to discuss about the another topic. So thank you.